Okay, the results are good. However, I was told they are indeed not ancient tests. What? Until I got the codebook from a spy like this. So the way we're reading the codebook is these numbers in the codebook are just indexes to tell us where to check out. Be something like this. The first is number is a 5, so that means we're checking out the fifth elements as an array. It's a sixth element, so we're going to have the R in forward. The 12 it's a U, and we do it again and again. We have the N, and after I complete this process, this is what we have. Putting those characters together, we'll have this message: run, it's dangerous. It is fun, right? Can we do something like that? Here is the logic if we're going to do it by ourselves. The first step is we have to initialize a string with a char array, and we can and then we can generate another ancient test with the method we used previously as the original test. Then we initialize an integer as the codebook. Then last step is we can use each of the indexes in the codebook to access the corresponding char in the original test, the ancient test we have created, and we can replace that char with the indexes char in the text to hide, like this. So here is a framework where I have already do something for you, like initialize a char here, like I'm using another char array to save the original tests, and I'm calling the function replace variable, which I have demonstrated in the previous example. So you're supposed to have the original test as the ancient test. Then I have to the step 3 by initialize integer array as the codebook with a lot of indexes there you have seen. However, what left for you is to implement this encryption, the encoding function, which will use the original test, the text to hide, and the codebook to hide those spy message into that ancient test. Okay, like that. Here is where we're calling the function. Here you have to implement the function. You can pause the video and try to do it yourself. Okay, congratulations, I guess you already figured it out. Here is the complete program where you can implement the function easily like this. Here is the part where accessing the original tests created by the ancient tests example. So right now here we're using the codebooks. Okay, sorry, there is a typo of it. It's codebook. So right now we're at the ith element. So the indexes will be given replaced to that indexes of the original test. Then we can access that element, and at the same time we can replace that char in of the text to hide. Okay. This is easy. However, I would like you to pay attention to here. You could see here this function hasn't returned anything. We are modifying the original text directly, that array directly. This is something different from we have introduced in the function when we are introducing the functions. What we have mentioned is function where they are taking the parameters like passing here to here. They are just getting a copy of it. Any change you made to that copy wouldn't affect the original value of that. However, what we're doing here is directly modify the value of the array, and you could see it worked. The reason is when we're passing this array name to this function, it's indeed it's also works like the same as in other functions. It's getting a copy of those array name. Array name is an indicator, is an independent punch card. It's like we got a new punch card with the same value of the original punch card. But inside the punch card, it's not the value of that array, it's the address of the starting character, the head character. So with that value, with that address, this function are able to access the value, find where those punch card of that array stored. So it's going to access that punch card, that value directly. So think about that. That's the reason you can modify that array directly. This is really different from your passing the values of the basic data types like the integer, like the char. Okay, so we're passing an address rather than a value to that function. That's the reason we can access the values of the member elements of that array directly. So it may take a while for you to understand that. You can pause the video and think about that. Okay, here is the result you're supposed to have. You can find those tests has been already replaced to the one we're trying to hide. For example, the R here, originally it's another character, and the U here, it originally this character, and the N is here, and it's originally another character there. So it worked.